Hey everyone, so welcome back to the channel again. I was not able to make videos for day 3, and so I'm making a single video for day 3 and day 4. If I will just scroll down, we are good with the number of trades that we decided to take. And the first day I did a major mistake and major psychological mistake, and it costed me a lot. I will show you. So on the day 3, which is first of June 2026, the first trade that I came and I punched in was a sell trade. So up till now everything was good. I was following my setup and I took a loss. I sell zero point 0.1 lot and I took a loss. Now, when I took my first loss, I'll just look back at my PNL and I just saw a continuous streak of losing my trades. So I thought, okay, fuck everything. I will now just go against my setup, and now it's a buy. So like I was at that point in time, I can't explain you, but at that point of time, I was thinking like, okay, something is majorly off. Maybe I am not taking the trade in the right way or something. But the direction was, I knew the trend, the bias. I took the first trade in, which was in the bias, and the second trade that I took was purely out of frustration, and even I took more lots just to cover the loss that I made, and that costed me 150 USD, even if despite of the fact that this was not my setup. So this was the major mistake that I did. I took a buy trade and I also took a forex trade, a GBP USD setup. There was a lovely setup that was being formed in GBP USD, and we sell a whole single lot, and we indeed booked a profit of 300 USD. So this was definitely one of the best trades. If I would have avoided this psychological fuck up, I'm the day to day, I would have been in a profit of more 150 USDs. But okay, I learned the lesson. Markets taught me the lesson, and then today I took a single XAU USD trade and a sub trade inside of it, which was $11, and the major trade was 250 USD. So this was a single trade. I took two because the setup was being formed again. So I just took another trade, and so three trades a day. And so the first thing that we were decided to follow was to maintain our psychology of a single trade a day. We failed on second day, but we are now back on track again. So just quickly switching to trading view so that I can walk you through the setups that I took. So this is GBP USD, but first I will be walking you through the XAU USD trade that I took in. So this is the trade that we took, which was between the London and the starting of the New York. So this was accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. There we go. This was going to be a lovely trade, but we got stopped out. I will just quickly zoom in and I will show you what exactly the trade was based out of. So this is today. I will just go back to yesterday. So here we go. We have a beautiful accumulation going on in London session, and London session just got swept out the London high. We got so this was the 3-minute low, and the candle was coming in again and again, but it was not giving a change in the state of delivery. But despite of this fact, I took the trade because I was pretty confident that okay, the trend is okay. Before that, I will just show you the bias quickly. So if I will be quickly jumping to 30 minutes maybe. So as we know, here we go. Yep, 15 minutes would be better. Yep. So we had a break of structure, then a lovely change of character, then again a break of structure, and we were a change of character and a break of structure. So definitely we were bearish, and I was looking for a sell trade, and I was directional bias. That was the first trade that we planned, right? And which was indeed a good trade. If I would have not been stopped out by the markets, then it would have been a lovely trade. But okay, that's just a matter of timing and luck, and obviously strategy as well. So I definitely did a mistake here, was that we had this series of closing candles, which are like breaking the highs. So after this we would have a change in the state of delivery and also a change in state of character, as we have a break of structure here. So it came down, it went up, it came down, it went up, and at 1 minute it was definitely forming different inverse FVGs. So if you will see here, there is at 3 minute in this candle, we have an inefficiency, a sell, a buy, and a sell. So we have a major inefficiency, and that we have an FVG, and that FVG just got inversed by the next candle. So at this point of time where it formed the inverse FVG, I took in the trade as the trend was bearish, and I was pretty confident that the trade will play out. And the mistake that I did was, before the change in the state of delivery happened, I punched in the trade. That was the first mistake that I did. So the actual trade that I must, or I should have taken, was after the change in the state of delivery here. I should have waited for this FVG, and it gave a change of character. It came back, it checked in into the inverse FVG that it formed, and then shoot. Like, it was an awesome trade, but we got stopped out. And as soon as this candle formed, uh, I just lost my psychology, I just lost my control, I just lost my control over my mind, because some previous all the trades were going in loss, one after the another, one after another. So I thought, okay, let's fucking go for buys. And as you see, this is a good bullish candle that came into the picture, and after this I just planned a buy trade, a random buy trade. Like, there was no setup, it was not directional bias. I just took in the trade out of frustration that, okay, let's go for buys, it will go up. That was, to be very honest, that was the plan of action. But this wick came up, I just made an entry here, and I just took a stop loss still here. So this was it was a pure psychological fuck up, and it costed me around 150 USD. So it was a purely a lesson, and we just missed this beautiful trade because we didn't wait for the change in the state of delivery. If we would have waited for a change in the state of delivery at 3 minutes, we would have captured this beautiful trade. So this was the day 3, and after taking the first and the second loss, I just closed the trade. After that psychological mistake, when it costed me 150, I learned the lesson. I just closed the XAU USD, and I was scrolling through GBP USD. I saw a very beautiful trade that was being formed, so I will just break down the trade quickly. The trend was completely bearish, it was purely bearish trend, and it came into this order block. If you will see, at 2 hours we were having this beautiful order block forming in. So if I will quickly draw the order block again, it just tapped into the order block. So I just planned it, tapped into the order block, and it came again here. Now if you will go to 15 minutes here again, you will saw a beautiful setup which is being formed. So the first time when it entered the order block, it came down. We have a US Asian session, we have accumulation, we have manipulation, and then we have beautiful distribution coming in. So after the manipulation, if I will just zoom into 30 minutes maybe, yep, I zoom out to 30 minutes. So you can see a order block, a buy to sell, and with an inefficiency which was being formed. So as soon as we have an order block, the trade entered the order block, we had accumulation, we had manipulation, and as soon as it entered the order block, I punched in my trade. No, as soon as it entered the order block, again I waited for a confirmation at the lower time frame, and then we entered the trade. So it was like an A plus setup for me, because I waited for the confirmation as well at lower time frame. So where we entered the trade. So yes, as it entered the order block and it gave this change in the state of delivery here, you can see after this liquidity sweep, it gave the change in the state of delivery, and I just entered the trade here. So before this huge candle kicked in, I made an entry. So if I will just quickly switch back to the funding pips, and in order to show you the exact entry price. So as we can see, GBP USD, yep, the open price was 1.346. Okay, switching back to trading view. 1.346, 1.346, yep, around here exactly we took an entry. 1.346. So this was a beautiful trade, and how I decided the risk reward, that is the target. So this was a point 0.5 zone, and we had a buys coming in from here, so we have a buying pressure from here. This was the recent liquidity zone which might got swept out before a new buys, so I just kept this zone as my TP. And I also booked partials here. I didn't take the whole trade, so I was booking partials, and the SL got it. So it was a beautiful 1:6 risk reward, GBP USD, a forex trade. So this was the day 3, and if I will just quickly switch back to funding pips, the day 4 I took XAU USD and sell, and again a small subset trade, and it was based on the setup again. So I followed my rules, I followed the trading window that I decided to trade in. If I will go just quickly to 15 minutes or 30 minutes time frame, yep, here we go. So as we know, as we knew that the trend was bearish, and I'm just trading in the window, that we decided, as we had a change of character, a break of structure again coming in. And if I will just zoom at 30 minutes or maybe 1 hour, yep, we had this break of structure, beautiful, and we have this order block at 2 hour. So this was a beautiful order block, a sell, a buy to sell, that was coming in. So I took in the trade as it was in the order block. You can zoom in and you can see that it was actually manipulating in the, so this was not the accumulation here, it accumulated, then it manipulated, and then it gave a distribution. So accumulation and manipulation happened. Accumulation happened in London, and after accumulation, manipulation happened just after the London session. So in London, I just did not punch in the trade, and from the learning that we had from previous day, the just previous day was wait for a confirmation, wait for the change in state of delivery to happen before the New York session opens, because a good volume kicks in before the US session starts around 6:30 to 6 p.m. IST. So if I will just zoom in a bit, let's go to 3 minute time frame. 3 minute, yes, here we go. So as you can see, we have some great confirmations that were taking place here. Order blocks were, so we have this order block, this was a good 5 minute order block. We had a change in the state of character, it entered the order block. I didn't took the trade here because I was waiting for my best timing, because this happened at 16:30, means 4:30 p.m. IST, but our trading window that we have decided to trade in is 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. IST. So I just waited for the trade. It gave some good wicks here. This is the time when we were just analyzing the charts. So yep, here we go. So once it entered the order block, we have this low. It gave me a change in the state of delivery. I will zoom in a bit more to make it clear. So we had a series of bullish candles closing one above the another. So I waited for the change in the state of delivery. I didn't took the trade when it was making these wicks, just like yesterday. As soon as it made the change in the state of delivery, it closed below this, and we had a good sell to buy coming in. If I will go to 5 minutes, it will be more clear. So we have a sell to buy, a good order block, and it also closed below this order block. So a breaker block. Why a breaker block? Because it made a new high from the previous high, and we have a buy to sell. So a good breaker block was being found, and we had the order block present at 2 hour, and we had this order block that was coming in. It was being respected again and again. So I just took the entry as soon as it closed below the breaker block. I had an FVG I have a bearish FVG that was forming at that point of time, and I just entered the trade. So jumping back to 1 minute, if you will see, there was a beautiful FVG which was being formed after it closed below the block. So this was the candle where it closed. As soon as it entered the FVG, I just took in the trade here and waited for the trade to play out. After that, at 5 minutes again, so a beautiful re-entry was also there, which I tried to took. I took loss at the first go, and then yep. Also one more thing, it was a beautiful order block was formed at 5 minutes. So this was a buy candle, and then we have two cells, and this 5 minute sell to buy along with an inefficiency that was being created, so it closed below this. So this order block converted into a breaker block, and I took entry at this breaker block because there was an FVG as well, but I just got stopped out. If you can see this trade, this is the trade, but once it came up, tapped in into the 5 minute order block, and it came down, we had a beautiful re-entry again. So at 5 minute order block, this was the best entry that we could take, but it came down and it again closed below this breaker block, this huge block that you see in. And after this, there was an FVG formed again. So as soon as it entered the FVG, I just entered the trade and took a beautiful 1:4, and I just came out after that 1:4 that we are seeing with a 0.02 lot. So I took 0.04 lots, closed 0.02 after it got this hit this SL, and then I just, so this was a fuck up, to be real honest with you. I took 0.04 and I didn't place the stop loss because I knew the trend, but as soon as it was going up, uh, I could just see the profits being reversed and this trade going in loss. So after a good play in trade, I was seeing this trade getting reversed, and after, as soon as it tapped into the 5 minute order block, it just gave the great selling pressure, and I closed 0.02 lots here, and I just hold the 0.02 lots, and this was the second re-entry that I made. So this was the trade for the day. We followed our setup, we followed our trading time zone. We just took a trade. After one trade, we just closed it. So far so good. We are basically following our challenge that we took. We are into it, and fingers crossed, let's see how things goes. So that's it pretty much for the day. We are today, we made, we closed our day in profit for the day 2nd of June 2026. Let's see how this challenge goes, and if or not we are able to get the payout. So that's it for today. Thanks for staying up till here. Have a great one.